WNST. My new phase in life and not sticking to sports has reached high and far and long and wide. And weird things happen when you sort of send things out to the cosmos, especially when you send it out on Twitter and LinkedIn. And then the phone lights up, and I think the last time I saw this guy, I'm not going to say I was shocked by his dancing skills, but he does have strong moves for a big man. I don't know that he's ever going to be in the big man challenge or whatnot, but he is in some semblance of semi-retirement, cooped up in Howard County somewhere. But as a former Raven and a guy who's made a life and a home here, he was always one of my favorite guys to have on the program. We don't keep up enough, but Trevor Pryce, you reached out to me on Friday and said, I got a lot on my mind. And I said, well, I got 168 hours of airtime here. What shall you say about things? What rock have you been hiding under, man? You're doing, like, video and audio and television. You did sports, but I didn't even know you were still, like, in the area, man. It's really good to hear from you, man. Welcome in, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Good to be. I mean, I never left, but, I was, like you said, I was hiding in some sense.
Well, you went to the Meadowlands, for Jersey for a couple of weeks, and then that was right. You came back here, and you never left, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I went to play for the Jets, and I retired. I have to walk on the field at Pittsburgh after we lost the AFC Championship, and I was in New York. I was like, yeah, I think I'm done with this.
Well,
and what happens is, I play pickup basketball every morning at like 5:45 a.m. And I run around like I'm the Greek freak, and I'm the biggest person, but I dribble the ball, and I'm fast, and I can shoot this, that, and the other. And you go, and you look good one day, and the next day, like I'm sore, and I can't play as fast. So when I retired, I could have kept playing. The Patriots called me. The Patriots were like, no, we want you to play. I was like, I really don't feel like it. It had nothing to do with physicality. I just did not want to play. And what happens after a while is you start to get that itch. And I can tell you right now, I could play for the Ravens. I could play 10 snaps a game, 10, 15 snaps a game today. At 42 years old, no problem. I cannot practice. I cannot go to meetings. I cannot do anything but show up on game day, put on my pads, and play.
You would be a game day assassin. That's it. Just very stealth, right?
And that's right. And that's not the way that game works, right? So when I retired, it wasn't I was retiring from football. I was retiring from practice. That's the way it works.
Well, what's going on with you, man? I mean, look, you were one of those cats who was clearly very educated, clearly had educated family. Your wife might even be smarter than you, and, I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know.
There's no might about it.
Right, exactly. And
I have college degrees in my house.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're that guy, and I always wonder what happens to a guy like when you're done, because you're stimulated by a lot of things. You made a lot of money. That's no secret. We can Google that. And then it comes down to what do you want to do with the rest of your life. Most of us don't get that choice, and unless you didn't invest your money well, you don't have to work. Then it's what do you want to really do every day that makes you feel fulfilled. I mean, look at our guy Aaron Maben here locally, teaching these kids up here in the city. You
want to hear a funny story about Aaron Maben? So I do the Hollywood thing, and I read an article on Aaron. I had known he had gone left and, started being an artist. And I love art. And I've collected some art in my life. So I knew what he was doing. So I called him. I said, look, and I met with him, and me and him went to, what's the bar downtown? The really nice one, Bookmakers. We went to Bookmakers, and I said, look.
6 blocks from my house.
Yeah. I was like, you have an interesting life, and you obviously have interesting friends and an interesting perspective. So I was trying to make a TV show out of his life.
Wow.
And a quote-unquote reality show almost, but it wasn't a reality show where people, pulling hair and cat fighting and that type of thing. So he had a crew of people that he hangs out with that are like his best friends. And I went to BBC America and I pitched it, and they were like, we love it. So you
went to his home, like where he has his studio and he does his art?
No. I met him at Bookmakers.
Okay.
And he took an Uber, and he
but I mean, I've seen video. I've never been to his place, and I've like you. I met him one morning for breakfast when he was a Buffalo Bill after his first season. Literally, we met over coffee at the Harbor and talked to him for 2.5 hours. I mean, what a delightful human being, right? Like, just what an interesting cat he is, right?
And he was very close to getting a show on VH1 with me producing.
Wow.
Very, very close. Like just like right before the president.
But you know what? His story's still being written, dude. You know, you can go there tomorrow morning, and that's still a good story, right? I mean,
no, it is. No,
and I think the same thing about you. I mean, you're in the middle of your story, but I always thought your story would be interesting because, like, you know, I love smart people, and you went on to do what I do for a living, talking about sports, kind of, sort of, right? You went and did a Fox Sports thing for a period of time, and you are literally a guy that just has a lot on your mind, right? Like, literally, you love sports. You still are, like, into it, right? You watch sports all the time.
Yeah,
that's you.
Sport. That's the thing that I have since retiring. I've gotten time to kind of ingrain myself in other things I never had time to do. So, you know, I learned how to play tennis at a very high level. I'm still learning how to play golf at a very high level, and I started paying attention to sports media, right? And you know, any football player can talk about football. Any basketball player can talk about basketball. But those seasons stop, and the news cycle continues. So what now? You know, there's nothing worse than that dead time between, you know, May and July/August before football and after basketball. And it's like, okay, baseball season's happening. What? You know what I mean? So, you know, I have learned to love other sports because, you know, I have 3 kids and they play. My son plays every sport. My son had a soccer game and a football game today and a basketball game yesterday, and he has baseball practice all week. So you know, as a dad that was once an athlete, I have to pay attention to those things so I can yell at him from the sideline.
Well, at this point, I know you wanted to talk about LeBron and about the media and about how, like, let's be honest, man, all these people that say stick to sports, like, you can't stick to sports. There is no line between what has happened to the Ravens since the knee and since the Trump tweets and where the players of color are and where the owners of their color are and where the flag is and what is going to happen when these season ticket renewals go out. And then the LeBron thing right on into, you know, NBA playoff or All-Star game weekend, we get this shut up and dribble. And for a guy like you, shut up and rush the quarterback probably wouldn't sit well with all 6'5" of you, Trev.
No, but, you know, the thing is, to me, is you have to realize who said what where, right? So
does that matter, really? What and where? I mean, at this point, I mean, aren't we all out on a public stage wherever we are?
No. This is what I mean. I don't know any rodeo clowns. I don't know any. But a rodeo clown's job is to distract you, is to distract the bull, the dangerous part, from doing its job, which is gorging a bull rider, a bullfighter. What happens is this woman became a rodeo clown. She is trying to distract LeBron James. She is trying to distract these NBA players from what they're saying. So she becomes the target of their ire. And what LeBron James did was say, look, I don't know who this person is, and whatever she wants to say, that's fine. But my issues with the president or what's happening and social issues will not change because of a rodeo clown. Because that's what she is. And sometimes you have to call a spade, right? And you know, a long time ago, I was listening, I think right when Barack Obama first started running for president, and Rush Limbaugh became a huge voice of the anti-Obama, you know, part of the world. Now, whether or not you like sports and politics, or whether or not you whatever side you fall in the argument, doesn't really matter. But what Rush Limbaugh said, he said, listen, you want to get your pants in a bunch. Why? He said, I am a rodeo clown. He said, this is what I do. And I went, oh, okay. I get it. You know what I mean?
It's professional wrestling on that side. It's the Kardashians, right? Like, literally.
Right, but that's what he said himself. And it kind of to honest to God, it kind of humanized everything for me.
Well, but, part of it, when you start to get accused of not being smart or not being, kind or not being, giving back to the community.
If somebody who is smart and kind says that, then you take that, and that should be an insult. When a rodeo clown slings monkey feces, which is what came out of her mouth, then you just go, listen, that is. You just got, like Charles Barkley said, you just laugh that off because like you are unimportant, and what you say, you're trying to get a rise out of people a lot more important than you are. And what you can't do as an athlete is let the shut up and play your game crowd get a rise out of you, because LeBron James is 100,000 times more important than that person is. And has 100,000 times more reach and influence and power. Lions should not concern themselves with the thoughts of sheep. You know what I mean? So you just kind of go. I would have said, whatever, whoever you are, you are unimportant to me or this issue or to anybody with some sense. So and it's not a question of whether or not you agree with her or him. That's not the question. The question is that the problem is when you try to insult somebody because they don't agree with what you're saying, and I think that goes for both parts. Everybody's talking about divisiveness and come togetherness. There's no such thing. Everybody disagrees, but we will come together when we all say it is okay to disagree. When everybody respects the other's opinion. You can dislike the president, you can love the president, but that doesn't mean we have to throw poop at each other. You know what I mean? And the ones that throw poop, you shun them like a leper. So you shun her like a leper. It's like, whatever. You are not a thing. You know what I mean? You can stay in your box and troll and say, shut up and dribble. Nobody cares. Nobody should care. Nobody should care.
Trevor Pryce joining us here. It's a Trevor _PRYCE, former Ravens defensive lineman, Bronco, all that. This is interesting for you because in the old days, no matter what was said or done, if the newspaper in Denver, let's say back in the earliest part of your career, really before modern social media, there were message boards and AOL and You've Got Mail and dial-up and all that, 97, 98, 99. And let's say a reporter in the Denver Post, some Woody Page, some hack goes after you or whatever, then, you have to wait for the cameras, literally, to come to your locker after practice on Wednesday to say, the sports radio guy says that you jaked it or whatever the accusation would be. You had to sort of wait for the clown show to show up. I'll tell you what, by Friday afternoon, I'm seeing LeBron in the back of an Uber doing a big promotion, talking about raising his family, raising his kids the right way, and shot in HD that looks like a Scorsese movie in the back seat with who was he with? He was with Durant. With Durant in the back seat. I'm going to say Garnett, but, that speaks immediately, right? Like, as much as, the guy down on Pennsylvania Avenue has his fingers, on a can at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning, it's not – every athlete has their own – pipeline to all of this, including you right now, that could go live right now on Twitter instead of chatting with me about whatever or sharing it. But you do have the opportunity to at least have your side of the story told in real time whenever you want to tell it, for better or worse. Sometimes sooner's not better. Sometimes you got to let your emotions. I saw Uma Thurman took 6 months before she decided to say anything because she realized she wasn't going to say anything good. Right.
Right, and that's fine. That is in a 24-hour news cycle. You know what I mean? But as quick as this has come up, is as quick as this will go away. Both parts of it. The LeBron part, he's out there playing an All-Star game right now, and the All-Star game actually looks pretty damn good. It's a really interesting basketball game. They're playing. It looks like a very high high skill quality pickup game.
Yeah,
but
it always is.
Yeah, but not like this. It looks better this time.
Well, they're playing defense, so you play a little. You're trying.
Right.
Basketball. It's like preseason. You just watch it. You know the difference, right? Literally.
Of course, of course you do. We're not running set plays and things, but it's like I said, this will pass like everything else, and there'll be another story come tomorrow, and she will be unimportant. And LeBron will continue being very important. I mean, I was listening to somebody on the radio today, and a sports cast. I was driving to New York. I was listening to Fox Sports, who was a sister company of the Fox News channel, and the two guys on the radio went all in on her. They dug her to the bone. Like they were like, this idiot, blah 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 blah. And the reason why they said that is the same reason, if somebody said to them, hey, you didn't play the game, I did. That's insulting. You know what I mean? Just because I didn't play NFL football, I can't give you an opinion on NFL football. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people are taking this the correct way. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you said your piece. That was clever. You probably spent all day working on it. Whatever. Moving on.
Hey, man.
Give a fool enough rope to hang themselves.
Moving on for us. I know you had some stuff on baseball and on collusion. And look, I mean, you played. You made a lot of money. The union in the football and the union in baseball. All of these unions playing nice between owners and players associations over hundreds of millions of dollars in the modern era. Dude, it's very, very complicated, but the baseball thing isn't all that complicated. There's a lot of money there, and right now the owners aren't giving it to the players, and it's pretty obvious that that's what's happening. Now, how that shakes out 2-3 years from now when Machado gets his and Harper gets his and what really happens to the value of these players, but I don't know, man. If you owned a team, would you want to take a $120 million flyer on a pitcher on a 6-year deal who's 29 years old? I don't know, bro. I don't know, right?
That's something. $120 million flyer for the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're like, we don't have $120 million, but you better have it if you want to compete. I think the market, just like the NBA market, the owners are trying to reset it because they see what's going to happen. The NBA, David Stern, his every league, when they get a new commissioner or a commissioner winds up changing things, there's always a mandate. In the NFL, when Roger Goodell became commissioner, he was given 2 mandates: make this game year-round and make it international. The NBA had 1 mandate: every team needs to have a superstar. I don't know what Major League Baseball's mandate is, but right now it cannot be, we're about to give Bryce Harper $500 million.
I think the mandate is always, let's pay the players less. Let's find a way to contain costs, right? Let's contain costs.
We have to contain costs because once Bryce Harper resets professional sports, which he's going to do, once he resets, not baseball, but resets professional sports, I mean, we're going to see billion-dollar athletes before my life is up.
You think Harper is going to get more than Machado? Really?
I think Harper's headed for $400 million.
Okay.
Because that's what he said he's going to get, and he's going to get it. He said, look, $30 million a year. He said, don't sell me short, man. He said, don't sell me short. He's headed for $40 million a season over 10 years. That's where he's headed.
You smart guys would call that visualization, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. They can call it whatever. They can call it whatever they want. It's coming. Machado, it's coming. And the owners, and the reason why they're doing this now, because they know it's coming.
But that's only for a couple of teams, dude.
Yeah, $200 million is $200 million is an easy pill to swallow. 400 is not.
Tell Mr. Angelos that around here, man. These are dark times, man. I mean, I'm stretching out beyond sports in my conversations because, look, the Orioles are in an incredible tailspin right now and of incredible uncertainty as spring training opens. And the Ravens have their hands full as well. Obviously, the Terps haven't been very good, Trev, but from a baseball perspective, when your team's no good and it's February and you know it, Those are dark times, man. Those are a lot of meaningless baseball games ahead, man. 162.
Well, yeah, it is. But, for the players, they're going, that was meaningful to me because it's one more year closer to free agency. One more year closer till I get to cashing this lottery ticket that I don't have to buy. I'm closer. I'm getting closer to it every day. So, look at it from the sports media perspective. Sure, this is lean times, but from Machado's perspective, he can't get to the ballpark fast enough because he knows it's coming. They have to pay him. He knows it's coming.
Dude, do you have a little resentment about the guaranteed deals? You threw a little lottery reference in there and guaranteed money.
No.
It is weird that their money just falls out of a tree. It really is, right?
It falls out of a tree. The guys you never heard of, $150 million.
Stadium's empty. No one sells tickets in baseball, right? Literally.
No, they can't get it. They can't. But it's 182 of them. You know what I mean?
62. So that's okay.
I'm sorry, 162.
Well, 182 if you're the Yankees.
Right. Well, I mix some baseball and basketball. There's 162 of them. So, I played 10 years. 10 years NFL. I didn't get 162 games in. So you gotta look at it that way. They have guaranteed contracts because they play 162 times a year. I don't care how hard or soft. I don't care how easy the game is. A lot of standing around. But 162 times to compete a year is a lot of competition, even though it doesn't take much. But look at it any way you want. That's a lot of game. That's a lot of game, professional level. I play my sport at the highest level 162 times a year. I mean, you look at it like that. I can't be mad at them. Go get it.
You know what? It's interesting. You're a well-balanced dude as a football player, and obviously, you had a lot of other things in your life and reading and things you're interested in sports and music and producing. You had all these things. As a baseball player, it's hard to be well-balanced. I'm not ripping on the baseball players, but, it's February 20, and they're in Florida, and they're getting into the cockpit of that ship. They're going to have maybe a day off, maybe 2 days off in July. They're going to go from Boston to Milwaukee to here and wash clothes and get to the ballpark and pull hamstrings.
It is not. That is not an easy life. It's a good lifestyle, but think about whoever wins the World Series goes from February to October. You know what I mean? They have November, December, January. They basically get 3 months off a year, and they play. You play a triple header. I'm supposed to play 3 baseball games in a day. Are you for real? Then concentration. Those guys are paid that kind of money because it's that much product. You know what I mean? And it's that money. And there's a lot of airtime on TV to fill, and Masson and Yes Network and all these TV networks. It's cheaper and easier to put on a good baseball game than it is to run another rerun of Seinfeld. It just is.
Trevor Pryce joining us here. He's a Fox Sports 1 former dude doing sports, now doing the Calipari. You can find him at Trevor_Pryce. Still lives here in the community and is sounding off with us from time to time here at WNST. Last thing for you, you are outside the box. Your sister played soccer. I know you got a World Cup thing. One day soon, you and I will get together and bitch about the state of the United States soccer team and how they're not going to be playing in June this year, which is probably just as well given the site. But the Danica Patrick thing is stuck on you, and you watch cars go in circles around tracks. You sort of like that thing, right? I do not dig that.
I don't watch it as much as I'm interested in the story. You know what I mean? I think that the fact that this is Danica Patrick's today was her last Daytona 500, and she crashed, which is a disaster, is weird to me because car racing is not built on prize money. It's built on sponsorship. So when your car says FedEx on the hood, that's what your team is being paid to drive that FedEx Toyota around the track. Even if you come in last place, that is your job. Those impressions and those 100,000 fans in the stadium and the 20 million people watching at home, your job is to get that car, even if it's not in front. People are seeing FedEx go round and around and around, right? And so,
what a concept, right? That's amazing, right? Like when you consider
it is. It really is. As long as you don't crash a car, we are good. Danica Patrick is the most marketable driver in NASCAR. And it's not even close. It's not close. And the reason why this is her last race is because she cannot find a sponsor to put her in a car next year. And I'm trying to figure out, why is that? If the job of a NASCAR racer, a NASCAR team owner, is to lift up the sponsors, only one car wins. To lift up the sponsors, why does the most popular driver in NASCAR can't not have a car for next season? I don't understand. I mean, she's racing IndyCar. I guess they like her there, but I don't understand how the most marketable person you guys have, FedEx or Toyota or Chevy or Ford, can't put her in a car. I don't get it. I hope it's not because she's a woman. They say because she doesn't win. Hell, 90% of them don't win. The same ones keep winning. The Jimmy Johnsons and the Brad Keselowskis. The same handful of guys keep winning. It's like tennis. Just because you don't win doesn't mean you don't get to play. Finishing 10th, being the 10th fastest driver in America is an accomplishment.
I think it's an accomplishment to go around the track. What, you ever done that? You ever gotten one of those things and done?
I've been in a F-16, and they said it's like being an F-16. I
came really close to being that. My wife's really like a thrill seeker. Like, my wife would jump out of a plane. She's way more into that. I mean, I'll ride a roller coaster. I like some speed. I'll drive on the Autobahn in Germany. I kind of dig that myself. I like bullet trains. I like airplanes. But I don't need to be doing Top Gun. It's just not my thing. You know what I mean? But for some people,
that was something I would never ever forget. I had half a Pop-Tart. Threw it up.
Dude, I was going to ask if you threw up. That was my next question. Did you throw up? You did.
I barfed.
You barfed?
I barfed in a bag. They gave me a bag. I barfed in a bag, and because I didn't want to show them the bag, I stuck it somewhere in the cockpit, and I left it there.
You'd be a lousy astronaut, Trevor Pryce. Hey, man, it was great to visit with you. I appreciate you reaching out. And anything you want to say on the Ravens before you go? The Orioles, anything local? I mean, obviously, not just on the field with the Ravens. I think we all know that. Ozzie has picked literally you and every other player, right?
I saw Albert McClellan at Smashburger 3 days ago.
Okay.
So that was good. I see them every so often, and I talk to them, and football is a weird thing, man. It's cyclical, and right now they're in a down part of the cycle. I will say though, when Steve Bisciotti said, I almost fired John Harbaugh this offseason, but I decided not to. What? Why would you tell people that? Like, I don't know, what good do you get from that? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like every other team, you never know.
Well, I'm off to Indy next week in the Combine. That's grown a little bit, so we'll be out there amidst the madness.
The Combine is, it's going to be, the draft has now become a thing. Like, people are so starved for football. Hey, you can cut that nonsense with the ratings being down. There's going to be 5 million people going to watch the friggin' Combine. So, yeah, let's just be real about it.
How much money's Jerry going to make on draft day down in Arlington last week of April? I mean, that is a wet dream for him, isn't it, right?
$1 billion. He's the NFL is winning, right? Everybody complain about Roger Goodell all you want to. He has done exactly what he was meant to do. He has taken the game international, and it is a year-round business. Year-round business. So keep complaining as he gives you exactly what you asked for.
Bro, I saw it when I got on the tube over there, third week of September, and every color of the NFL rainbow. I mean, they had Houston Oilers stuff over there. Teams don't even exist anymore. They were wearing that swag over there. So, I mean, I saw it. My brother, get some rest. We will check in with you again, and I'll send everybody out to Trevor_Pryce to find you. I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad we had some fun here chatting about things. I hope we make it a regular thing, man. Good to have you on.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
You got it. Trevor Pryce. You can find him out on the web doing good stuff and talking sports with us. Why not? We're stepping up the conversation. We're not necessarily sticking to sports. I'm going to be talking to Rob Halford, Michael Schenker this week with some rock and roll, mixing in some business, some sports. At some point, I'm going to bring some chefs in here and make some food, probably talk about making craft beer. I don't know. We talk about everything. It's, why stick to it at this point? We're going to open it up, but we will be at the Combine next week in Indianapolis, so you can find us out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. The Buy a Toyota Audio Vault is there 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world to listen to whatever you might miss here. You can also listen live by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. Our morning newspaper ships directly and digitally to your email inbox each and every morning. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life, guaranteed. And last but never least, if there's any breaking news and the Orioles finally deal Manny Machado somewhere, you will get it first on the WNST Tech Service. That is all brought to you by Coons Ford on Security Boulevard. And, of course, Dennis Colatzos will be here on Thursday driving you home from 3 until 5. It's the SSV on WNST. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.